Hi, everybody. I am Trey, one of your average film enjoyers, and I am here to tell you that you can win over $500 worth of movie stuff. So, if you're listening to this podcast, you're a huge movie fan. Obviously, you wouldn't be listening if you didn't love film like me and Jagger. And so me and Jagger, along with three other content creators on TikTok, Film Gunch, who we've had on here, Wes, who we've had on here a couple times, and then one of our good friends, Real Takes, we are all joined together doing a giveaway currently. And how you join this giveaway is you go to each of our pages. We all have the giveaway video pinned. And you'll go on to that video. You'll give us all a follow. We each account is tagged in every video, and then comment down below. Tag 5 of your friends, and if you tag 5 different friends in all 5 different videos, then you can get up to 30 entries. 30 entries. You can get up to 30 entries. So, but you're like, Trey, well, you're telling me about this, but I don't even know what I can win. Well, I'll tell you what you can win. Real Takes is donating a 4K Harry Potter collection, Blu-ray James Bond collection, I believe a 4K collection of the Planet of the Apes films, and the first 3 John Wick movies in 4K. I'm donating 3 criterions of your choice, so whoever wins get to choose 3 criterions, and we'll mail those to you. Jagger, my co-host, is donating a bunch of international DVDs. Gunch is donating Don Hertzfeld and I can't remember the other guy's name. Well, the animated show. It's a very limited edition animated sketch comedy show. He has a bunch of steelbooks of all 3 seasons, so he's donating those. And then the biggest one, Wes, is donating a region-free Blu-ray player. So, if any of those items interest you, again, go to any of our TikTok pages. Go to me and Jagger's TikTok page, Trey the Film Noob, Jagger Film Reviews. We have the videos pinned on top of our pages, so go check them out, follow the instructions. The giveaway ends when we are all 5 of us at 1,000 followers. And me and Jagger are the only ones that haven't hit 1,000 followers yet. So please help us get us there so we can give away all this movie merchandise. Now, let's get to the podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Average Film Enjoyer Hooptober edition. We are your average film enjoyers, Trey and Jagger. Jagger, my friend, how are we doing today?
I'm doing great.
That's good to hear. I am personally very excited to talk about this film today. This is a film that I first witnessed in the I watched it, like, I started getting into film, and then like a month later I downloaded Letterboxd. In that month span, this is when I watched this film. And I can honestly say my genuine reaction when the credits started to roll was, what the fuck did I just watch? And if you haven't guessed by now, we today are talking about the masterpiece of a found footage film, Creep, starring Mark Duplass. This is... Jagger, why don't you go ahead first, because you have this rated lower than me, because I just changed my rate. I've been thinking about it, and I changed my rating.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm at a 5. Yeah. I have this at a 5-star. Jagger, why don't you go ahead first?
I, too, changed my rating thinking about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Man. So, of all of the movies I've seen, there's only a few that have genuinely scared me.
Yeah.
Those consist of Skinamarink, possibly in Michigan, Skinamarink possibly in Michigan, Sleepaway Camp, this, and then one other one that is coming up later in Hooptober this week. So you have to watch our podcast now in order to learn what it is. I'm sorry. But yeah, this was a recent watch. It's like last few weeks.
Yeah.
And I watched it for the pod, and God, I have a few real big fears. This is all of them packed into one.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the concept of someone being in my house that, number one, I don't know that well, and number two, like, I'm not sure where they are, but I just know they're there.
Dude, you just talking about it right now is making me, like, uncomfortable. God, dude.
Like, I've got my door right there, and within the span of this episode, I'm going to have checked my door several times, just talking. I don't like it. And the thing is, I have it at a 4.5. I hate this movie.
Yeah.
I hate it. Because it made my skin crawl. And I say that the movie The Strangers sucked. I didn't like it. I think that it did this concept poorly. I think this did it a lot better.
Oh, yeah,
this
for
would
sure.
Where in The Strangers, they would show you them just standing there. Whenever Mark Duplass was on screen in the last, 45 minutes of this movie, he was doing something absolutely devious.
Yeah, man.
He was cutting his hair off, hitting him in the head with an axe. All very unpleasant activities.
Yeah.
And it, from the first time you see him, and he's like, record me in tubby time, you already feel very uncomfortable.
Dude, that was so fucking weird. Yeah, I could not agree with you more. First thing I want to say, Mark Duplass is my number one most underrated actor. Over the past year, the deeper I've gotten into his filmography, whether it's stuff he's directed, or stuff he's in, or stuff he's written, I'm just like, wow, this guy can really do it all, and he does it all so well. He used to help write on a show called The League, that's like a sitcom type comedy show. He makes stuff with his brother, such as the very uncomfortable but fun comedy Cyrus, starring John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill. Jagger, you need to check that movie out. It's so good. He's just like, he's really, like, we were talking about this, I think when we were talking about Killers of the Flower Moon, after I saw it last night, like, he is a chameleon. There are actors, like, you don't see, like, oh, I see just Mark Duplass, like De Niro. Like, we didn't see De Niro. You see King, right, in Killers of the Flower Moon. This, you don't see Mark Duplass. You just see Joseph. This weird guy that lives alone, and it's found footage, and it is so well done. Because the entire time, there's all these uncomfortable moments where you're, like, laughing because it's funny, but also, like, inside of you, there's, like, something feels off about it. And then he tells the story of how he broke into his own house and did certain things to his wife.
While wearing the Peach Fuzz mask, much less.
Yeah, and then that's when the movie turns, and you're just like, okay, this guy's a fucking sociopath.
The beginning of this movie is a tonal shift from the rest of your day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this movie has so many twists and turns, but it's sort of like, and I'll use this, yeah. In Clockwork Orange, you know Stanley Kubrick, whenever he makes a movie, the Kubrick stare happens at the peak of the person's insanity?
Yeah. Yeah.
At the very first 5 minutes not 5 minutes, the very first, I think, opening minute of the movie, like after those opening credits roll, he does the Kubrick stare in the first, 20 seconds.
Yeah. Showing
that he's already at the peak of his insanity. This movie does that, and my God, is it so good. Mark Duplass, as you said, acts masterfully in this movie.
Sorry.
It's such an uncomfortable experience. And like you said about that movie Cyrus, which I haven't seen, but you described it as uncomfortable. So if that's what he does it very well. And you just have
And
to respect that.
the crazy part is that's not even like his thing, is just being uncomfortable. It's really only when he plays this character. Because you still need to watch the second one. The second one it's definitely not as good as the first one, but I still enjoy it a lot. I have it rated at a 4-star. And then we got a third one coming out in the next couple years. And it's going to be a whole trilogy, which honestly, depending on how good that third one is, like if it's like another 4.5, 5-star movie, it might take over Evil Dead as my favorite horror trilogy.
Really? You just said last episode that Evil Dead 2 was the best horror trilogy.
Well, now we're talking about it, and I'm like, well, as it stands right now, this isn't a trilogy. So the Evil Dead movies are the originals are the best horror trilogy. But he's also in a movie called The One I Love with Elizabeth Moss that is freaking weird and fun and outstanding, and he's just a weird dude, but I love it, and I love everything he's in, and I love this film. I think it's so good.
Yeah.
That's our movie review for today. Is Creep, starring Mark Duplass, directed by Patrick Brice. You can stream this film on Netflix.
Which, if you don't have a Netflix subscription by now, you're in a minority.
But also, screw Netflix. They keep raising their subscription prices. And I don't even use it that often.
Screw Netflix, but I feel like everyone has Netflix for some reason. Am I wrong?
No. People just don't know about all the free streaming services like Tubi.
Shout out to Tubi.
And Plex. And the Internet Archive.
The Internet Archive might be legal. I'm not sure, but it works.
Dude, and that one at least makes me feel better about watching movies than when I'm using like certain unnamed websites. Please don't come arrest me, FBI. Yeah, that's our movie review today. Go check it out. Tomorrow you can be expecting a review of Nightmare Before Christmas, which I know Jagger holds extremely highly. You can follow us on our socials. I'm Trey the Film Noob, basically everywhere. He is Jagger Film Reviews on TikTok, Jagger Film Fan on Letterboxd, and Jagger the Movie Guy on Instagram and Twitch. And again, thank you for joining us today on our Hooptober episode for the day, and we hope you have a spooky rest of your evening.